4 blood transfusions and $93,000 later, let's talk about this. If you had asked me before the birth, I would have said 100% yes. We were literally waiting. We were waiting the 6 weeks. We're going to let doctor get the go-ahead, and we're going to go for some Irish twins. Since then, my husband is so scarred that he has said, no, you are not giving birth again. We will adopt or find another way. So let me explain why. And I've tried to do this video twice. So just know that if you want to know, I was in labor for 48 hours. So if you want to know up until that 48 hours till I started pushing, let me know and I'll do it in a separate video. So it doesn't have to be a 10-minute long video. I might post them anyway because these details, these are crucial. When I got there at 5 p.m. on Sunday, I was 1 centimeter dilated and they had scheduled my induction because my blood pressure had been high. In their eyes, it was let's deliver this baby before it becomes a problem, because with high blood pressure can become problems, and they were trying to be proactive. So we decided collectively, like, yes, let's do this before it becomes a problem. As I was sitting there 1 centimeter dilated though, I was like, bruh, like this is why I wanted to wait. But again, baby safety first. So fast forward to now, I'm on day delivery, April 1st. It's around 5 o'clock. And I have been doing all these things to try to get the baby to come. The last delay of this was because I was 9 centimeters dilated. I was his face. He was only 2 centimeters, like he was only down, he needed to come down 2 more centimeters or something like that. I don't know. So we were waiting on that. But in that process, I was feeling every single contraction. I was falling asleep in between contractions. And I was so exhausted that I was ready to tell them I'm ready to have a C-section. Like, I cannot do this anymore. It was so bad. Mind you, I had an epidural and everything. But the last bit of delay was that he was sunny side up is what they call it. So most babies come out face down. He was face up. I'm not sure why they want them face down, but they were trying to give him a chance to turn. And he wasn't turning. So I pushed a total of 3 times. The first time was like a total, like I was pushing from my throat. I remember I did that with Jay. I don't know. It was nothing. Second push, nothing, but very close. Third push, he came out so fast that the doctor literally almost dropped him. He came out with the cord around his neck, but he was okay. He was breathing fine. So he came to my chest for about 5 minutes. And then they said, we really need to take him. And then that's when I started bleeding. So I started bleeding. Originally, I only bled like the normal amount, and then I suddenly lost 2 liters in 5 minutes. So I had a massive hemorrhage. They had to do a DNC right there with no sort of medicine. So I had no general anesthesia or nothing. I could feel every single thing. I remember afterwards, I was crying to the nurses and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I couldn't be still. They were like, no, honey, like we understand. If you've watched Grey's Anatomy, remember when April Kepner had to get the C-section from Ben Warren and she screamed? That's how I was screaming. Like I could feel her entire hand up my hoo-ha. So they still couldn't find the bleeding after they did the DNC and everything. So she had to put this JWA something up me, and apparently it closed it and we were good. Because of these complications, and mind you, at the time I had no idea how much blood I had lost. And I asked the nurse, I was like, so what happened? And she said, you literally went from losing like nothing to losing a third of your blood in 5 minutes. So she said something like, you have 5 liters of blood in your body. I had lost 2 in a matter of 5 minutes. So it was like, it was nerve-wracking. So I had a blood transfusion, blah, blah, blah. So then they decided I'm going to stay in labor and delivery instead of moving upstairs to postpartum, just to keep an eye on me for a little bit. Rewind. I finally got to hold him. It had been an hour and a half after he was delivered that I finally got to hold him and really have some bonding time, which in a way shattered me because I really wanted, they say that first hour is so important. I think anytime you get to hold him is important. It's just, when you go into the plan and then it doesn't happen that way, it's whatever. I wanted this to be 3 minutes. It's already 4. I'm so sorry. I can only talk so fast. So then at 6 a.m., they finally take me up to postpartum care. Now, mind you, when this whole time that JWAL was in me, I thought I was leaking blood still, but I guess it was just from when they put it in and it was the surrounding area. I don't know the details, but I know that my bedding needed to be changed. At this point, my husband had already said, babe, like, you're looking yellow. I think we need to tell the nurse something. Mind you, in the same breath, the nurse was coming in to change my bedding, but wanted me to stand up to change it. They put me on this wheelchair that was supposed to support me for standing up. Instead, I passed out right away. I came to when I was upside down in my bed. I guess they were trying to get blood back to my head. And my husband was freaking out. Probably more than when I was hemorrhaging, because when I was hemorrhaging, he was focused on the baby, because I told him, you know, go be focused on the baby. We did agree if anything had ever happened, like if it came down to deciding, it would have been, he would have chose me, because we can have more children. But I'm just glad we didn't have to go there. But I say that because he was focused on baby at the time. Had he needed to be focused on me, it would have happened. But in this situation, baby was already settled. Baby was safe. He needed to focus on me. So he was more like intuitive that something was going on with me. So anyway, so I'm on the table. They have me upside down. They're like trying to get me to come to. I finally come to. I have all these like wet washcloths around me. And they decide, okay, you're getting another blood transfusion. I said, yeah, probably because I was yellow. I probably shouldn't have been standing up, but whatevs. And then I shit you not, 24 hours later, like I was dismissed, and here we are. I'm here. All is well. Am I scarred from my experience? 1000%. Do I still want another one? Yeah, I do want a girl. And I asked my son yesterday, I said, hey, would you want another little brother? He said, well, I already have a little brother. I think I want a little sister. Literally, I'm about to cry again. Like, I was it was so beautiful. He is such an amazing big brother. Like, he is so incredible. He's so great. I love him. I still have some guilt, making sure that I'm somehow truly, I don't know how people do it with 2 little kids. Like, he's 10, so he's way more self-sufficient. I cannot imagine having like 2 under 2 or 2 under 1. Irish twins, my ass. What the truck? But I know that my body can't. I don't think my body can handle it any older. I'm already 34. I know that's not like the oldest of the old, but it's, yeah. So that's where we're at. That was my birthing experience, and couldn't really make it any shorter, but it was a wild ride. It was a wild, wild ride. So we'll see what's to come. I think I have 2 more weeks until that 6-week appointment, and we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say, and then see what we continue to pray on and feel is best for our family.